let's go to global matters, as I say, and obviously the what has been an escalation now by the activity from the United States with the conflict in Iran. Let's turn to Labour MP and Armed Forces Minister Luke Pollard, who joins me now. Minister, thank you for coming on the line today. So are we opposing the action taken by the United States on the weekend? Good morning.
Good morning, Nick. Firstly, let's be absolutely clear. Iran must not have a nuclear weapon. The threat that they pose to regional security is a serious one. And for that reason, the US took steps to neutralise that threat in the past few days. Our focus as a country is on a diplomatic solution now, is to bring Iran to the table, to get them to negotiate a diplomatic off-ramp. We know that they are in a terrible situation. Their air defences are gone. Their leaders are hiding in a bunker. The solution to the crisis is for them to get around the negotiating table, to negotiate in good faith, and to put their nuclear weapons programme beyond use, with a handover of materials so they can be verifiably destroyed, and a de-escalation of the situation so that all the peoples of the Middle East will be able to live free from the threat of a nuclear strike by the regime in Tehran. Yes.
My question was, Minister, is the United Kingdom opposed to the action we saw on the weekend? It's a yes or no.
Well, that's not one for me to comment on. We've been involved with.
But you're the Armed Forces Minister. Why would you not have a view on armed intervention, as it were, in Iran?
Well, as one of our deep security partners, we keep a regular dialogue with the United States. The US administration has been clear for some time that they were keeping all options on the table to deal with.
It's a simple one, Minister. Are we for or against the American activity on the weekend? For or against?
Well, the American activity has now happened. They've taken those steps to deal with the threat. And what we have, as a country, what we have been focused on over the past few weeks...
You don't know whether we're supportive, whether we support or oppose it. You're not clear as to whether we support or oppose the action.
Well,
am I hearing correctly that the Armed Forces Minister...
What we're focusing on is the diplomatic solution that resolves this crisis.
I just want to clarify that the Armed Forces Minister for His Majesty's government doesn't know whether he supports or opposes American activity on the weekend, our supposedly closest ally, and you don't have a view.
No, that's not what I'm saying, Nick. What I'm saying is
it support or opposition? Where are we?
So our focus, Nick, on this one is on the diplomatic solution. The US have taken the action that they felt was necessary to alleviate the threat that Iran poses.
Minister, you're a bright bloke. You're not answering the question, are you, sir? I'm asking whether we support or oppose what Donald Trump is doing, and you won't tell me, or you can't tell me. I don't know.
Well, the focus, Nick, as you appreciate, is on what happens next.
So we're not going to get an answer to that. Can I take you to
next? And that is their diplomatic solution.
So we don't know that one. Okay, let's go to Bryce Norton, if we can, Minister. What went wrong with security up at the RAF base there last week?
I mean, I was pretty shocked to see what had happened there, really disappointed. What we now need to do is have the investigation that the Defence Secretary has commissioned report swiftly. That will look at not just what happened at RAF Bryce Norton, but also how do we ensure that all our military bases nationwide are protected. I mean, breaking into a military base is not only epically stupid, but it is also threatens our national security. And it's for that reason that we're taking this investigation very seriously. We're looking at what happened and how we can address it. We know that there's more investment needed at RAF Bryce Norton. It's what the Defence Review said only a few weeks ago. But we need to be absolutely clear that criminal damage, criminal trespass on a military base at a time of heightened tension is a threat to our national security, and we'll be looking very strongly at what measures need to be taken, not just to improve security, learn the lessons, but ensure that those individuals that are responsible for this and the groups that they represent are properly brought to justice.
And would that include the organisation I understand to be involved, Palestine Action, being what's called proscribed or banned? Would you be supportive of that, Minister?
Well, that's a decision for the Home Secretary, and you appreciate that we don't, I can't talk about the prescription process, but the actions that Palestine Action have taken, not just at RAF Bryce Norton, but over the past few years, has not only caused considerable damage to the military and to those companies that support our armed forces, but they also pose a risk to our national security. Invading a base, causing criminal damage to military assets at a time of real tension is a very stupid thing to do.
It's reported.
It undermines.
Yes, it's reported one of the aircraft's engine is irreparable and could cost up to £20 million to get it battle ready, as it were, again. Are those figures? Is that something you recognise, and the figure you recognise?
So the work to assess the damage is underway at the moment. It's part of that commission that the Secretary of State has made to look at what happened and what damage has been caused. Flight operations from the RAF are continuing, but we need to be absolutely clear that this is unacceptable, that we need to learn the lessons swiftly so it can't happen again, and that those people responsible face the full force of British justice.
Lastly, how long were the activists on the site?
Well, that's been looked at the moment, and that is part of the review that is undertaken. We won't have to wait very long for the results of that to come out. Clearly, there's more information that I won't be able to talk about.
But I mean, how long were they? Do you know how long they were able to carry out their actions?
So that is part of the report, and the authorities that are investigating it have a good idea of the timeline.
But do you know, Minister?
I'm waiting for the full report to be presented to me and to the Defence Secretary, and that's why we can look at what happened and what measures need to be taken to ensure that we can learn the lessons to secure our military facilities.
I mean, just lastly on this, Minister, were I in your position, the first I heard about it would be a position of anger, and then I would ask, dear God, how long were they bloody roaming around? You do know how long they were roaming around, do you, Minister?
Yes, and that's part of the review.
How long was it then, Minister?
You'll appreciate, Nick, that I can't give all the details.
Why?
Of the
How is that a matter of national security, whether they were there for 5 or 15 or 50 minutes? How's that national security? They've done what they've done. How long were they there? 5, 15, 50, 5 hours? How long? Our understanding is that there was a short intervention that they made onto the base. How short is short?
They conducted a series of acts of criminal damage, which are being investigated. That review that we're working with counter-terrorism police on needs to be conducted properly. It needs to be conducted swiftly. That is what we have commissioned as Ministry of Defence.
Are you going to tell me how long, or you're not going to tell me how long, because it's a matter of national security? Is it how long they were riding around on a scooter with red paint?
I'm not going to be able to give you those details, Nick, but you appreciate that is part of the review that we've commissioned, and we're working with counter-terrorism police to properly investigate this.